Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Ed's Quit Smoking by Vaping channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I certainly am. I've passed the 7 week mark now. I'm 7 weeks and a couple of days in. I know for me that the 6 week mark was a huge one for me. I really wish I did an update on that day, but I really didn't get a chance to, uh, film a little quick video. So here it is now. But I remember on that day, it was a special one to me because that was the longest period of time that I went without a cigarette before now. I remember I was last March or something like that, or April. I don't really remember. I think it was the end of March. I went a month and like 2 weeks. So I went 6 weeks without a cigarette, and then I caved. And I had like 10 or 15 cigarettes that night. So just as a warning, it can be very easy to fall back into that old habit of addiction. It can be really, if you slip and you have that one, like watch out. It could lead to 10 or 20, or you could be right back where you started from. So I don't recommend that by any means. Either case. So that was a huge day for me. Like I said, that was the longest period of time ever since I started smoking when I think I was 20 or 21. I don't really remember, but let's just say 20. So in 9 years, the longest I went without a cigarette was 6 weeks. So I know it doesn't sound like much, but to somebody that quit smoking cigarettes, it kind of feels like an eternity, if you know what I mean. So that was a huge one. By no means did I ever feel like I was going to relapse that day or anytime soon after that. It's been pretty smooth sailing thus far, I gotta admit. Through all kinds of times, good, bad, stressful, like sometimes really stressful times. Um, I never it never got out of my control that I had to have one. Whenever those kind of feelings would come up, especially the stressful ones and the, um, angry moments or whatever, or even like, celebrating something, whatever it is, I would just vape. Honestly, I would just vape until I felt like that little feeling or whatever it was would pass. And like I said, it's been smooth sailing. I'm really enjoying this whole thing. I'm a little bit under the weather right now. I'm not gonna lie, but that's just because there's like a flu bug going around at my office at work. So lucky me, I ended up catching it. But one thing I noticed is that I get over these things a lot quicker than what I used to. Like I had a cold, I think like a month ago, and I got over it in a matter of like a day or something like that. So this one is lingering on a little bit more, but it's a little bit more of a virus than like just a regular common cold. So it's to be expected, vaping or not. I mean, it's gonna happen. So one way or another, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's really going well. Like I said, I'm taking my time with this. I'm not rushing anything. I'm not going by somebody else's rules or somebody else's like expectations of when I should stop vaping. I'm not thinking about any of that right now. The important thing for me is I'm distancing myself from cigarettes as far as possible until I feel comfortable that I can get to that zero nicotine level and vape, and then we'll see how that goes from there. Because I know, and this is just my personal opinion, I have certain priorities that are coming up when the weather gets nicer. I play softball, and this activity lasts like a good 4 or 5 months, something like that. And I know what my triggers are. So recognize what your triggers are, try to work around them. You know what I'm saying? Even work with them, I should say. And what I mean by that is, for me, like softball is a huge trigger, because there's tournaments, people are having beers, tons of people are smoking around you. It's crazy. So I know that if I go into that environment when I'm not ready, I don't know how it's going to go. I'd rather not think about that. I'd rather coast through it the way I've been coasting through all these triggers thus far. in this almost 2 month period. So I'll see how I'm doing. I mean, maybe I will be able to stop vaping by that time. I'm not really sure, but I'm not really putting any pressure on myself either. That's the last thing I want to do. Honestly, I put so much pressure on myself to quit smoking and everything like that. The last thing I want to do is put pressure on myself by vaping. I am not going to do that. Forget it. It's going to take some time. I already went into this knowing that it's going to take, maybe a year or whatever, or maybe longer or maybe shorter. Whatever the case may be, I'm willing to face it. So, one way or another, the goal is not to smoke a cigarette. And so far, so good. I remember I checked my stats around, I think it was almost a 6 week period. And I think there was like 1,000 cigarettes that I didn't smoke at that point. It's unbelievable when you think of it that way. 1,000 cigarettes. And I calculated that I think I smoked like 9,000 cigarettes a year or something like that. At least that's what I think I figured out, give or take. So pretty disgusting when you think of it that way. And a lot of people out there, they're having trouble with the vaping and still smoking and relapsing. I just want to say it's really, you have to find it within. You have to find that strength within. You have to really want it. You know, it really all comes down to that. Like me, I was the kind of guy that I relapsed a lot. You know, but I had enough. I guess you'll know when you had enough. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, at some point, you're going to realize that you're going to get to a spot where you quit smoking, and then something's going to happen. And it always seems like that happens. The world falls on you. You're stressed. Something bad happens. 2, 3, 4 things in a row. Unfortunately, the cigarette's not going to fix any of those things. And I know this firsthand, that I used to use that as a coping mechanism and an excuse for me to continue to smoke. But at the end of the day, shit, we're all going to find excuses to smoke. And I know it sounds harsh, I'm not trying to be, but it's so true. You can pick the smallest reason to smoke, you can pick the biggest reason to smoke, you can pick the most stressful situation, you can pick like a celebration reason, like a wedding, or or like somebody's baby was born, or a holiday, or what have you. But is it really gonna make you feel good at the end of the day when you pick up that cigarette? I really doubt it. And even if it does make you feel good in that moment, I guarantee you you're gonna feel a little bit of guilt and regret afterwards. At least if you're like me. So I shouldn't guarantee it, but that's what I think. At least that's the way I was. There was a couple of nights, not very many, where I almost caved. I was like 10 days in, and I almost caved, and that would have been the end of it, and I would have had to start all over. But I told myself, okay, what would the me tomorrow morning tell the me right now? You know? Like, what would the me tomorrow morning when I woke up tell me right now in this spot? And I know that myself, the next morning, I would have been a lot happier knowing that I did not smoke, I did not cave in, and I would have had a little bit more confidence the next day, knowing that I got through that trigger, and then I was able to get through it, like I said. So a little tip of advice, try to think of a further version of you trying to talk to the now version of you, and it's never felt better. It's never felt better to be able to get through the most stressful times and the most ups and downs and whatever. It really feels good. Like, you feel more in control than the actual cigarette. So, within reason, I know that I'm still addicted to nicotine. Yes, fine, but eventually that's gonna go too. But like I said, the main thing is that I'm not smoking any cigarettes, and hopefully you guys are gonna do the same. Just take it one thing at a time. Don't surround yourself with situations right away where it's gonna happen. You gotta. There's effort to be put into this thing. It's not going to be done for you, There's going to be times where it's right in front of you. There's going to be times where people are offering it. There's going to be times where people are, like a whole bunch of people are just smoking around you and whatever, and maybe they're teasing you about the vape or whatever. They're saying it's bullshit, whatever. At the end of the day, these people are smoking, you're not, okay? So be proud of that fact. Be proud of that fact that you have the strength, that you don't want that cigarette, and let them worry about whatever they want to worry about. Because at the end of the day, again, rat poison or vapor, you do the math. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. So I'm just going to keep going. But yeah, like you just have to find that strength within. Keep going, keep pushing through those times, and it's going to get easier, you know? These times where you have it in the first week, they call it Hell Week for a reason, or the first 2 weeks. They feel like a lifetime. Every day feels so long that you didn't have a cigarette. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks at first. I'm not gonna lie. But now, like at this point, and I'm not even that far in, like it's only like 7.5 weeks, not even. Now, it's a lot easier to get through those times. Now you're used to using a different way to get through those times because you're disconnecting yourself from running to the cigarette. So you have to put that work in the first couple of weeks, in my opinion, and it's just going to get easier from then on. So, I just want to say good luck to everybody. It's going great for me. I have no complaints. I'll update you guys again. This is the longest period of time that I've been smoke free. I'm really grateful. What else to say? You guys have any questions? You need help, tips, advice, whatever. I'm here. Unfortunately, you guys gotta want it though. You guys gotta want it for yourself, for nobody else. Not your kids, not your husband, not your friends, not your family, nothing else. You have to do it for you. You have to want it. And I know I'm speaking like confidently right now. Like I don't want to sound like a know-it-all. I'm just trying to help, you know? I'm just trying to get people through those tough times, make them understand that if you do pick up that smoke, chances are it's just going to delay everything. It's just going to put everything back to square one. You're not going to feel good. You're going to feel guilty. You're not going to feel great about that choice. So think about it a couple of times before you cave next time. Think about all the work that you put in up until that point where you feel like you're going to cave. And hopefully you're not going to do the same. So, with that being said, just wanted to say good luck to everybody. I'll update you guys again soon. Let me know if you have any questions. You guys can do it, and I'm doing it, so everybody else can do it, So be good to yourself. Have that confidence, That's it. Take it easy. We'll talk to you soon.